what I see is a form of vengeance. Psychologically, this gets into, right at first, about the fact that you see an attack coming and then you try to defend yourself from that attack. And what really, regardless, you might be able to recognize that you see an attack coming because you're having attack thoughts. Like you're having ideas of attack. Now, attack thoughts get into a lot of different variations and understanding that it gets into a much greater depth about quite literally everything being attack thoughts. And in this way of everything I see as a form of vengeance. That's pretty intense. But just off the surface, we can recognize that in your relationships, you might interpret something as offensive that something else or someone else does not intend to be offensive. And it's interesting because I see even in my family, even just friends nearby, and all this stuff, that we speak different languages. And this is often what I'm referring to is this form of, say, we hear things that are offensive that others don't intend for them to be offensive, or we even interpret body language differently, we interpret the fluctuations in someone's voice differently, and we don't actually experience someone as they intend or are offering themselves. And we naturally have problems with relationships and problems with life and dealing with other people because we can't get past our, say, vengeance of our own minds, that we think everybody's attacking us. Oh, I don't know what they meant by that. Oh, did they mean this? And oh, they're such jerks and everything. And even especially with this sarcasm thing that some people really find offensive, regardless if they actually intended it for it to be offensive or not. So we want to recognize that psychologically, yes, essentially if I perceive a defense, I also perceive, or a reason to defend myself, I also perceive a weakness, that I'm saying I am weak and I need to be defended. So if in that attack, instead of recognizing those words, which is more common, could mean other things and could be just kind of ignorance and childish ways and these things that really, or even sarcasm, it's likely that if I'm obsessed with that, I'm making it into a problem. I'm making it into, say, this difficulty. So in the same way as I see only the perishable, I see nothing that will last. What I see is not real. What I see is a form of vengeance. This is what this is about, more so than just the illusionary perspective. But when we get down deeper into this, which I sure was enjoying in my journey and brought me to my transcendent death experience, was this really everything is an illusion. That quite literally I see separation because I have attack thoughts. That everything essentially is a derivative and a projection of what I see, and my anger, my upset, my frustration, all projected outward. Like if I think of death, I'm experiencing death around me. I'm experiencing these hardships and problems for everybody. That I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. And what was God did not create a meaningless world, and yet we're talking about disasters and everything. And that essentially, with this projected outward experience, it's pretty intense to recognize that all the disasters that are happening are actually my responsibility. That's huge, right? Now, when we say my responsibility, it's not reference to this particular person, but you're going to feel the weight on your shoulders, I'm sure. But that which carries the yoke for you, referencing scripture, that is, say, Christ. So this is actually about Christ's responsibility. But it's pretty intense just to even think about it. And we want to gain this responsibility because in that, if we accept responsibility, we also separate ourselves from this physical body, individual perspective, and we start recognizing what has authority, which we are one with. We start recognizing what is Christ, in which we are one with. Okay? So that's why this whole training is all about this. Do I really want to see the perishable? Is this the world I really want to see? Or do I want to recognize the world in which God has intended for me? The real world in which is behind this. Do I want that instead? Because I see all this upset, problems, death, and everything because my mind is obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed. I mean, drama. I mean, look at those TV shows now. Jeez, drama. So the whole practice of taking responsibility for everything, which this course gets into, is because we want to recognize the only thing that can actually have responsibility for all of this occurrence, because we are just manifestations of it, is that which is Christ. So if we gain that responsibility, or accept it, we are also accepting what actually has responsibility. Because if we're all puppets for God, let's say, as some people put it, then God is guilty for everything we do. Think about it. So what is and who is responsible for all of this is who is in charge of all this. And if it's just you, and if you're manifesting this whole universe, think about it. And there is a way out of it. Now, this is about also recognizing miraculous thinking also brings about miraculous living. Boot-a-loot.